what I feel, AI is not here to take your jobs.
Mm,
AI is here to make you a millionaire as long as you are not doing those boring repetitive tasks, as long as you know how to use AI for how to actually use AI. And if you learn how to work with AI hand in hand, that's where you are going to make a lot of money.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Startup Podcast, the show where we talk to the builders and dreamers, turning bold ideas into actual impact. I'm your host, Komal Rangoonwala, and today I've got someone who's building something seriously exciting in the AI space. Joining me is Uddeshya Agrawal, the founder of Boss AI, a platform empowering professionals and entrepreneurs to build AI powered tools, automations, and agents without writing code. Is that correct?
That's right, Komal. That's right.
I'm glad.
And
He's also a serial
yep,
founder, an educator, and one of those people who seem to have 25 hours in a day. I really hope we can learn how he does that. Adesha, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
thank you so much, Komal. I'm doing great. Thank you for the great introduction. I saw some of your podcast. You do it really nicely. And it's such an honor and a pleasure to be here on this podcast show with you.
Thank you so
How are
much.
you doing?
I'm doing very well. And like I said, I'm always excited talking to founders. And I actually posted this on X that, you know what, the podcast series is coming again. And I'm excited to share it with everybody. So, yeah, let's start with your story. Where did all this begin for you? Were you always someone, like build something kind of a person? And what sparked
Mhm,
the idea for Boss AI?
mhm. So I'll start from the beginning and we'll keep it simple. So journey starts by something that drives you. For most people, it's passion. For me, it was curiosity. I was that curious kid who was always trying to tinker his head around different technologies and trying to figure out what works how and
Mm,
how to just get something around that. So when I was a kid, I was in second standard. My father gave me a computer.
mhm,
All a kid would do if he gets a computer is to play games. There was a free website, Miniclip. I used Miniclip to play games all day.
mm,
One day, I finding a free Spider-Man game. I infected myself, and I belong from Gorakhpur at that time in 2000 10, 11, there were no engineers in Gorakhpur. So, and if I have to call an engineer, it took them 2 months to come and fix my computer, which I was too impatient to wait for. I tried to fix it myself. And that's how I came to know there are some computer programs called as viruses, one that has infected my computer. That intrigued me. I dig in more. I
mm,
found out that the virus was called Trojan horse. Now, a small kid coming to a name that says Trojan horse inside a computer,
mm,
how would he feel? Magical. That what is that? And that's how my journey in technology started. I
mm,
started learning more and more about viruses, what is Trojan horse, how does it affects the computer, and that's how, by all that curiosity, I cracked the exam of certified security expert V8. And you can call me India's one of youngest certified security experts cracking that V8 examination.
wow.
So that was the Kickstarter for me in technology. Now, when I learned about security, I wanted to build stuff that are secure enough, and that's how I stepped into the world of development. I started doing freelancing, being really early into it. I started doing freelancing, worked on my communication a lot, did a bit of outreaches, and I was just 16 at that time. At 16, I found my first international client who was in Dubai, who wrote a book. I had to convert his book into a software, and that just exploded. That client was so happy. He generated so much money because of that software. And looking at his happiness, I realized that I have a magic wand that can turn people dreams into reality. It's a big responsibility, but
Mm,
that's a good skill to have as well. I enjoyed his happiness as equal as he was enjoying it. And that's how I began walking more into that journey.
mm,
That is how I founded my first company, Hayati Technologies, which was a service company.
wow.
And it's doing pretty great. We are serving clients all over the globe now, big clients, enterprises, Fortune 500. And that is how I used to build a lot of softwares for different clients. I used to power everyone else's dream. Now, fast forward to today, Boss AI. I I am a fan of optimization and efficiency. I value my time as my bank account, and that is where I come from. So to say I spent a lot of time on keyboard replying to this team member, replying to that client, that email, this, that, I realized I'm wasting too much time on my keyboard.
Mm,
Alternative, voice. Because the speed at which we think and the speed at which we type can
mm,
never match.
right.
That's when I realized I need to speak my thoughts and it needs to come out as I type. That
Mm,
is where the idea came from. And then I just built it for myself because this is a problem that I have. I'm solving it for myself. I built Boss AI. I saw my time being saved. And then I started rolling it out as a product for other people so
mm.
that they can save their time. So that's in a nutshell about my journey from where to how and now.
Yeah, your story is very impressive, I would say, because there's this consistency that I see. Um, And it seems like, it is not something you kept pivoting. Like, I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid, and then I changed my dream and I wanted to be a doctor, and I ended up being an engineer. It's not like that. It's something like, it was ingrained in your brain and in your heart since you were a kid.
Yep.
That's really impressive. And I think that really shows because it helps you maintain your your dreams and helps you build that path towards that
Yep.
destination. And I'm sure there isn't one destination. You've built multiple ventures already. So what did those early experiences teach you about starting from zero?
So one of the most critical experience I have learned in my life is your mark sheet doesn't matter. Your
Mm,
LinkedIn headline doesn't matter.
mm,
What matters is who are the people you sit with, who takes your calls, who texts you back.
mm,
Those are your network.
right.
And to get network, you can't chase for connections. You have to build value. And since I built value, they chase me.
Mm,
That is one of the most important thing about network. Because look, you can have the best idea in this world, but
mm,
what if you're not getting a platform to execute it?
right.
So that's one of my most critical lessons I have learned so far in my life.
Yeah, and that is what we say at Startup as well, that your network is your net worth. And it's
True.
really important. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And so I can, like you said, that you worked with authors and other founders and builders. So what was like your hardest founder lesson, would you say, that you had to learn the hard way as a founder yourself?
Um, the hardest lesson I learned the hard way is to understand where the other person is coming from. What
Mm,
happens most of the times in case of conflicts, you just try to see your own perspective that, hey, I did what you asked for,
mm,
but still you're not happy with it. You never put yourself in the other person's shoe.
mm,
And that is what happened with me once when I was working with this great partner of mine who was unhappy because of our team's work. But
mm,
our team worked till 4 a.m. And I was like, dude, my team worked till 4 a.m. for you. They are sleepless, but you don't care about it. He
mm,
said, I don't care. I care about the out. I care about my product. I said, if this is how it works, I won't be working with you. And that's how a great partnership ended because I was too much emotional about my team but not understanding where this person is coming from and how he feels about it. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. But
mm,
one of the most uh, good things I would say I know is you should just mistake a single mistake once.
mm.
So I never have made that mistake again. One mistake I learned that, and today, yep, that's one of the hardest lessons I've learned. Losing a partner.
Yeah, and then it takes a lot of self-awareness and courage to admit something like that, that you were too emotional about something. And you can see, like, it was, uh, I can tell that, you were coming from a point where you have to also be like a leader to your team, that you have to show that you care about their efforts. But then again, you have your responsibility towards your partner and your clients. That is not something you can really trade, I believe. It's not a trade-off at all.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
I often say this to everyone. Running a business is about three things.
Mm-hmm.
P, P, P. People, people, people.
Uh,
First, people, your customers. Second, people, your employees. Third, people, your clients.
wow.
So this is what it is all about. So ultimately, yeah, you need to keep a balance.
Mm. And I not recently, but it's been like almost a year since I did like this crash course in psychology from Yale,
Mhm.
and it actually taught me a lot of things. And I already knew some of those things, but like where it actually resides in your brain, what chemical functions that happen. And I realized that if you, as a founder, do not know, and I'm not really a founder, um, but more like a founding member. But if you do not really understand psychology, you do not really know how to sell. You may know how to build,
Yes.
but you do not know how to sell. And
Yes.
understanding that part, that bit is so crucial.
Exactly. Ultimately, think of it like this. You mentioned about psychology. I'm a big believer of that. I always try to keep that as my focus whenever I'm cracking a deal with an investor, a client, a conflicted topic with a customer. I always keep that in mind. And ultimately, failures are nothing. Failures are just data for you.
Mm.
You wasted $100,000 on a wrong product. Listen, what went wrong? You hired someone wrong. Listen, who not to hire. You trusted the wrong partner. Listen, who not to trust the moving forward. So this
Right.
is like an expensive tuition for you. Failures.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh, Quitters treat it as a reason to not do it again.
Mm.
Winners treat it as data to learn what not to do again moving forward.
Yeah. So, what when you think about your journey so far,
Mhm.
what has been like your proudest, I cannot believe I did it moment?
So recently, something happened right now. I became a CTO of a public company in Canada because
Oh.
yep. So I was a lot into stock markets since I was a kid, right?
Mm.
And it always fascinated me how capital markets work, how a stock market listed company works, and how it is controlled by the public, by the sentiments, by actual drive behind it. Because in a private company, whatever you say is true. In a public company, you need to be very careful,
Yeah.
and you get more ground to play on.
Mm.
So it was something it was my, you can say, one of my bucket lists, and finally that happened in July.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I believe you would have to do a lot of public speaking, I suppose. Are you like active on
Yeah,
socials?
I'm not very active on socials, but I go to colleges and I go to like podcasts like what you have hosted
Mhm.
because it makes me feel good personally.
Right.
Ultimately, after a certain time, after a certain level of your personal achievements that you have sent to the benchmark for, you
Mhm.
want to see what have you given back to the world.
You're managing so many things. Like whenever you're ready, you can reveal to us like how do you get 25 hours a day, and like us normal regular people get only 24. Like how are you doing all of this? Do you find it overwhelming? Did you initially did, or are you getting there?
No, I still feel I have a lot of time left with me. Ultimately, it's all about treating your time as your account balance, and you'll find enough time for everything. People run behind cheap dopamine. Do not run behind cheap dopamine like scrolling or watching content. Just do what actually matters. Look at the bigger picture, and you'll always get enough time to do everything else. Forget about me. Look at Elon Musk. you know the secret sauce is, again, just value your time as your account balance. Keep yourself organized. One routine I follow is before sleeping I look at my to-do list. I have these four horizons: urgent, important, good to have,
Yes.
I can
Yeah, yeah.
keep them in backlog. And I always make sure that my urgent list is very much sorted.
Yeah, you know what? This is something like a common pattern that I've noticed. Like I talked with a founder just yesterday, and she said the same thing that she has a fixed routine. It actually helps you stay consistent because I see
Mhm.
so many people struggle with consistency, and I think a
Yeah.
routine would help them fix it.
Exactly. Yeah. But, like personally about me, I do not follow any specific routine. There is
Mhm.
just one thing I do is before next day, I sort my to-do list. Other than that, for me, it's all about getting shit done. Like if I have to work and if something urgent comes up, I'll try to manage both. And somehow, by God's grace or some magic, It has been happening since years. Everything is getting managed by itself.
Yeah, true, true. And I'm sure like whoever is listening, uh, they might feel like, I've heard that before, but actually looking at your energy and where you're coming from, I think those words feel differently. They make much more of an impact, I believe.
Wow, that's nice to hear. Thank you so much. I'll appreciate that.
Yeah, let's talk about Boss AI for a minute. How would you describe it to anybody who's hearing about it for the first time? Like, what is it, and what can you do with it? Like, is it for someone like me? Who is it for?
Okay, so Boss AI is for anyone who values their time and who spends most of their time on their digital product. Would it be their iPhone? Would it be their computers? Because Boss AI is legit an assistant that stays with you, activates on a hotkey, and execute commands for you, or just writes it for you. For example, if you are seeing an email and you want to respond to it, just say, "Boss, reply to this email, politely declining this meeting request." Boss can see what's on your screen, understand it, it knows your writing language, and based on that it will draft and reply for you. If you say, "Hey, let's meet on Tuesday," no, actually do it Wednesday, it types the entire thing, crumbles it. Boss AI understands the intent. What is the intent that you are speaking something for? And then it writes it correctly, properly formatted, done. So it makes you very efficient with your time.
You gave a very good example. So uh, it understands your intent that,
Yeah.
scratch it and do it on Wednesday, something like that. So, what is
Yeah.
like the most creative or unexpected use case that you have seen someone build on Boss AI?
It was scoring a client. So because Boss AI can entirely see your screen, what a
Mm-hmm.
guy did, he was from our team. He works as a social media marketer. He went
Mm-hmm.
to LinkedIn. He was chatting with the customer, and all he did was boss reply, boss reply, boss reply. Boss always looked at the screen, at the messages of the client, and then based on that, it wrote a persuasive replies that impressed the client. So it landed him a deal, landed him a meeting, and then
Wow.
it ultimately converted into a deal. Yeah, that's a good one. Another funny one is a guy impressing his crush on Instagram. I was like, guys, you're crazy. I never thought of those use cases.
Right, that is the unexpected one. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you have taken like all the security measures coming from a security background yourself. So I'm just trying to think like if Boss AI is reading and going through and scanning whatever I'm looking at, how secure and safe is it?
So the good part here is it stays on your device.
Hmm.
From your device, it goes to the server directly. Nothing is stored. The moment it is processed, it's discarded. And we are going through a SOC 2 verification as well. That will give us a certification of that, because privacy is like very big deal. And I come from a security background. I
Right.
also come from a Web3 background where I value data, privacy, decentralization. So
Hmm.
considering all of those factors, yes, 100% private, nothing ever stored, everything discarded the moment you are done processing. And all the history, etc., it
Hmm.
stays on your device only.
Is that where it learns from, like the memory?
Yeah, on
And
your device, and you can upload your own knowledge base. For
right.
example, let's say you can upload your own writing patterns,
Hmm.
or you can upload the services you offer. Next time, if a clients come and ask for your services, all you can do is say, "Boss, please send this guy my services." It will pull your services from knowledge base, send it there.
And what about the passwords and PIN codes, all that? Like, is it reading those as well?
No, it only reads what you want it to read. Until and unless you don't press the button, the shortcut key, it
Hmm.
won't be able to read anything.
Hmm.
You need to wake it up. It's like Siri. Like you, "Hey Siri," then only she can access it. Same
Right.
with boss. You wake boss up, then only it can access it.
Hmm. I'm really excited to try it out. I think I should do that. So, what's your take on where AI is really headed, like especially for startups and creators?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question, because the first company I sold was an AI company. I am into AI since 2019. That's how long I'm in the AI for, since GPT-2 was there.
Right.
So I'm really excited where this is headed. What I feel, AI is not here to take your jobs.
Hmm.
AI is here to make you a millionaire, as long as you are not doing those boring repetitive tasks, as long as you know how to use AI for how to actually use AI. And if you learn how to work with AI hand in hand, that's where you are going to make a lot of money.
Yeah, I
So
completely
that's
agree.
my take on AI. I noticed that they have recently named their model as pre-AGI. And AGI is the benchmark that's going to change everything, artificial general intelligence. That means we are very close towards AGI. And the moment AGI happens, we are going to see a big paradigm shift towards hardware AI. And the foundation has already started with these models who can do your daily essential works and all.
Mm. And do you see any specific concerns around it?
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns and one for which we have built a solution for and taken a clean exit is deepfakes.
Mm.
Deepfakes are horrifying. Yeah,
It,
like,
yeah.
there are terrible. Elections are manipulated.
Yeah.
Bad guys are creating revenge porn because of
Mm.
deepfake, and a lot of stuff happening. So I spotted that early in 2022, and we created a company called as Verifiction for it. And
Mm.
now Verifiction works with government and other big agencies, news media to combat against deepfake.
Wow. So you're telling me that Indian government is actually using that?
Not Indian government, government of Gibraltar. Indian government, it's too hard to penetrate into Indian government.
Right. That is what I thought. Okay, so like how are they seeing the results? Like are they seeing any changes? How is it benefiting them?
A lot. So let's say if they get a news or a claim,
Mm.
then they run that claim, the video through our verification technology, which verifies if that is a real or a deep fake. If it is a deep fake, they get a report that on what basis is our tool calling it a deep fake. There's a lot of people fall into traps. Elon, like people make deep fakes of Elon Musk and make him say that, hey, this X coin is going to rise, and people invest and then it gets rug
Yeah.
pulled and they get lose their money. So those were some of the things of use cases that we combated against using the verification.
Yeah, I mean they're using Grok Imagine to create those videos, which is quite ironic, I think.
Yep.
And we would really need something like verification in this day and age in India. I can tell that you were very much driven by curiosity. Like, how do you keep on learning and staying ahead in this very fast changing space?
It gives me satisfaction. I enjoy it. Things, and whenever I enter into this investors meeting, and if I'm able to pick a conversation about any point and still sound smart about it, they
Mm.
value me as a founder. Some weekends we have a session among the team where
Mm.
I teach them. There was a session where I called everyone in the office. I taught them about stock market. I used my own portfolio, gave them case studies, and
Mm.
motivated them to invest into stock market. And
Mm.
similarly about AI, because that is what makes me happy ultimately.
So, would you say that, it is very important to prep yourself before each and every single call?
Exactly, that's right. I watched two of your podcasts before, one with Brian, the other one with Brett, I would say,
Uh,
the founder of
yes.
Inspiring, and the one who was into counseling. So yeah, I
Uh,
watched that as my preparation, you can say.
Well, thank you. I'm glad. And the other thing that you're doing is you're actively sharing your knowledge with your team. Like you're actively doing that, and not just while talking with your investors or your clients. You want your team to stay on top of it, and not just yourself. Like yes, sounding smart is cool, but then it is your team that's actually building and helping you build what you're doing.
Yep. A leader is only as strong as their team.
Yeah, yeah, true. So and you know what? I also this is something I think we all go through, like, hitting that creative mental block. Like, how do you get out of it? Like, I like to just take some rest. I sleep on it, and sometimes I see the solution in my dreams. And I actually do. I see myself coding.
Me as well. That's something I want to cheers on with you. Yeah.
Uh,
Dream always gives you the solution.
yeah, and what else do you like to do, like when you hit that creative block?
I reorganize my wardrobe, I clean my table, I clean my
Yeah.
room, and that gives the ultimate peace and clarity. And then I listen to some upbeat music, and that is all it takes me to charge myself up again.
Wow, that's nice, nice. But if you could send a short voice note to that 16-year-old boy, what would it say?
That's a good question. I would say him that, dude, just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on adding values to everyone else's life. Ultimately, the universe will give more back to you.
Absolutely. Okay, you know what? You want to move to the rapid fire round now?
Let's do it.
Okay. Just tell me the first thing that pops up in your mind after you hear the question. Number one, most overhyped AI tool right now.
ChatGPT.
First app you check every morning.
Threads.
What's harder, product or people?
Product.
Really? I thought you'd say people. I think you've
For
cracked
me, it's
people.
always product. Yeah, I think to have cracked people. Like if you put me on a sales call with someone who I have to convince to become my client, my success rate is pretty high. So for me, it's product.
Wow. That's really impressive. I assumed you'd say people because for a lot of us, it's people. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, getting 500 people to pay $10 for your application versus convincing one guy to pay $5,000,
Hmm.
convincing one guy is always easy.
True, true. The one metric you actually care about.
KPIs,
Hmm. One founder you'd trade jobs with for a week.
Elon Musk,
I knew you'd say that. If you had to delete one buzzword from tech forever.
revenue.
Really? Revenue is not a buzzword.
Because they have made it today, okay, let me change my this into a more narrowed answer. It would be MRR. It's all
Ah,
fake today.
cool. Yeah,
It's
that
all
is acceptable. I'll take that. Okay, what's the next big AI use case no one is talking about?
for distribution,
Interesting. Okay.
which
Okay.
kind of you guys are doing, I guess.
Yes, sort of. We are. And yeah, I mean it's less talked about. There's a lot of buzz though, and
Mhm.
not enough clarity. Yeah. Okay. One
Exactly. A lot of AI SDRs, I have tried most of them. None provide value.
next one. One word that describes the future of AI.
Revolution, I would say.
Good one. The biggest mistake first time founders make.
Celebrating too early.
Okay. And last one. If you could automate one part of your day forever, what would it be?
Motivating my teammates.
Okay, that was a good one. Tell us a bit more. How would you like to motivate them? How would you
Yeah,
automate this
so it's
whole process if you could?
ultimately it's something that is emotional. So I think that emotional things couldn't be automated
Mm,
because anything that is not emotional, the only thing that needs an actual human touch is emotions. That is
mm.
what AI could never do.
And then what are your thoughts about, the AI powered apps in mental health space?
Yep, they are doing pretty well. There was an application that helps you to get cured from long-term COVID, and it also helps you relax by patternized breathing. They used hardcore AI ML algorithms to realize how you are breathing, your breathing patterns, the stress you have while breathing. So those are doing some pretty decent job at if they are properly trained using certain ML algorithms for the
Mm,
particular use case. So it's great. Like it will boom.
mm. So, but don't you think like that also requires some sort of emotions? Like it is I wouldn't say exactly toying with our emotions, but sort of understanding, like doing like a therapist's job. So do you
Mhm.
think that
So
they're doing it well and it's advisable?
yeah, so when we talk about emotions, there are two types of emotions. One which we transfer to others, the
Mm,
second that we generate for ourselves. It's like we are self-motivating us sometimes. Most of the times we are self-motivating us, like,
yeah.
go Komal, you can do it. I don't give up soon. Those are what these mental apps are trying to do with you.
Mm,
Some have conversation involved, but you go there knowingly that yes, I am gonna talk to an AI.
mm,
I have, and it's all about insecurities
mm,
because you do not have someone or you don't trust someone to share your emotions with. That's why you are going to an AI because you know that AI is not going to judge you based on that. So
mm,
you're ultimately all they are doing is helping you exhaust your insecurity, and
mm.
that helps you feel better for a certain while.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And even apart from the mental health aspect of it, I think, like just AI agents in general, the way we conversate with them is that they mostly are all very agreeable. Like if I give
Yeah.
it some idea, no matter how stupid that idea is, it'll be like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And it will help me pursue it. It is never going to tell me that, yeah, your idea sucks or it's not going to work out. That is
Yeah.
something is missing, and I think it will stay missing for a long time because it is very much stringent.
Well, I face the same, and how I used to do it is I prompt it better. Like, dude, you are my partner. You don't have to just agree with me to make me feel good. But if you have a counter based on data and facts or any research or any data you are trained on, please let me know. Question me until I come to a perfect conclusion.
Right.
And then it starts disagreeing with me based like crazy. So if you try that prompt, I'm pretty confident it will disagree with you
Mm.
if you are truly wrong.
Okay, then which AI agent do you think works the best with that sort of a prompt?
Claude.
Claude. Okay, okay, that's a good one. Okay, and you know what? This is the last one. If you could give one advice to anyone who is starting out their journey in AI SaaS space in 2026, what would you tell them?
So my only advice, it's a repeat of what I said earlier, but to not celebrate too early.
Okay.
People celebrate too early. One camera, woohoo, raised VC money, woohoo. Just acknowledge your winnings,
Mm,
nod, keep working.
mm,
You only get to celebrate exits. Until unless it's not an exit, do not celebrate. Nod your head, enjoy, keep moving. That's process.
mm,
Result is exit.
mm.
That's my advice to founders because other than that, it's just a game of fish and bait. It becomes a game of fish and bait, a never-ending cycle if you're not targeting exit.
Okay. And why do you think that is like so what if a founder is celebrating? Like what happens if they celebrate a bit too early? Do you think they lose that motivation to work harder on it?
Yeah, so you start going to get into a comfort zone. So you feel accomplished. It's like, let's say you go on a dinner, you haven't completely filled your stomach and you order a dessert. It'll make you feel fulfilled
Mm,
despite the fact that you're still hungry.
mm.
That is what happens with early celebrations.
You know
Yeah.
what? This was such a fun and insightful chat. Thank you for sharing your journey.
Same here, Komal. Same here.
Yeah, and you know what I love about your story is that you're not just building tech, you're building access. You're building that feeling of safety and security while letting an app just go through your phone, go through everything. But then it is so tricky, and you know what, I wish you all the very best and achieving and accomplishing that, and to getting it to a level that we can all just blindly trust it and know that it's going to get our task done, just like a personal assistant would, because you would trust a personal assistant with almost everything. And you're proving
Yeah.
AI does not have to be intimidating. It can be empowering. And for everyone listening, go check out bossai.tech to see what Uddeshya and his team are up to. And if you enjoyed this episode, you know what, just share it with someone who is building something really cool. I'm Komal Rangoonwala. See you next time.